Hey GBC students, it's Pastor Stephen. Thrilled to have you with us for another recap of God's heart for the broken. I want us to begin our time together by looking at this pair of overalls. As you can see there, grass stained. I want you to guess how much they are worth. Are they a free item that you might get as a hand-me-down from a family member? Are they a pair of overalls that you could go to your local Goodwill store, buy for $5? Are they sold for hundreds of dollars at a Kohl's retail store? Or are they selling for $1,400? Now I might be able to go to a local Goodwill, find a pair of overalls that looks just like this, take it in my backyard, and scrape it across the grass to create that grass-stained look, and I would probably have a hard time even giving the pair of overalls away to someone who would be willing to take them. And yet, these specific pair of overalls sell for $1,400, and they are flying off the shelves. And the reason that is the case is because behind this pair of overalls is a household name and designer that is credible, and it ascribes value to this pair of overalls. The company that made these overalls is Gucci. Gucci is widely known as a high quality, high price item, and honestly, the name itself gives value to the product if it's authentic, if it's real. Well, the same can be said about human beings. Human beings are valuable because they have value that is ascribed to them by their designer. And the one that designed human beings is God, the creator of the universe. And He's the greatest designer. He makes the most quality things. He creates the most quality things. He designs the most quality things. And He designed humans. And what that means is this, that you will never in your entire life run into a person who doesn't have value, who is not worth a lot. And that's significant for us because what that means is that every person that we rub shoulders with, every person we encounter on a day-to-day basis, they are valuable. And so are you. You are valuable. I know that's hard to believe sometimes. I know that in the world that we live in today, that you face constant criticism from your peers at times, perhaps even some bullying or even some social media bullying. And the things that you get from people around you aren't always positive. We live in a society where negativity prevails. And so it is easy to find ourselves at times wondering if we are even valuable. This was the case of a particular girl named Michelle. And I want to share a little bit of her story with you. She was a teenager, much like you, and it would appear to most people that knew her that she had things together. She was that type of varsity soccer player that dressed nice, that was pretty, and that got along well with other people. From everybody else's perspective, she had a great life, but she had a secret. She felt worthless. She had some friends that once invited her to a concert called Winter Jam, and she knew it was a Christian concert. Had she the option to go all by herself, she would have refused, but it was because her friends invited her that she decided to go. She knew, though, that during this Christian concert, there was going to inevitably be somebody that got up and talked about God. But she believed that most Christians, in her experience, were judgmental, and that she also believed that God Himself did not love her because she was not valuable. And so she had set in her mind to completely and totally ignore whatever was shared about God that night. Lo and behold, the speaker got up to share a little bit about God and who he was and how he cares for people. And she vowed that she would tune the speaker out. And she did. But during the course of his talk, it was almost like she heard a still small voice, almost one of those, it wasn't audible, but it was something that she sensed in her deepest inner being. And this voice was essentially saying to her, I love you. You matter to me. You're valuable. She decided then, after that talk was over, to leave and go out into the area. You know, Winter Jam takes place in these big arenas, so she went out to where concession was and things of that nature. Well, lo and behold, the speaker, the person who shared the message that night, was at a table and was just there available to talk to students that wanted to talk. She made her way over to the table. She looked at the speaker. She said, I don't like Christians very much. You know, they're judgmental. I always feel worthless when I'm around them. Then she proceeded to say, I didn't listen to anything you had to say tonight. Which the speaker responded, well, that's good to know. She said, but during your talk something happened and I want to share it with you. While you were talking, I heard a voice, a still small voice. It wasn't audible, but I knew it was almost like I could hear it. As clear as I'm talking to you now. And it said, I love you. You matter. You're valuable. You're worth it. The girl did something strange after that. She proceeded to take her fist and just shoot it up in the air. And the speaker thought, in fact, that she might even be swinging at him to hit him. But what the speaker noticed is what she was holding in her hand. It was a necklace. And at the end of that necklace, there was a razor blade. And she says, I wear this necklace every single day as a reminder to myself that I'm worthless. And then she proceeded to say, but I don't need this necklace anymore. And she left it at the table. And she said, now I know that God loves me and cares about me. You see, human beings have value because God created them. And what's awesome is, if you ever follow any of these incredible designers, the ones that sell for thousands of dollars, similar to Gucci, they often come out with signature designer items. I think of the shoe company Jordan, for example. You know, Jordans sell for close to $100 a pair. But every now and then, Jordan Shoe Company will come out with a shoe that's a signature limited edition. And they will sell that shoe for thousands of dollars because it is a special edition. Well, when it comes to humans, we're not just created by this incredible household name and have value because of that, but we are actually the incredible household name's signature edition. We are a special edition. I want you to hear what Genesis has to say about humanity. It says, God created man in his own image. He created him in the image of God. He created them male and female, right? So God made humans in his image. See, that phrase, God made humans in his image, what it means essentially is that God created us to be a representation of him. Almost like a mirror that shines and reflects the character of something. So I look into a mirror, I see the likeness of myself in the mirror. The mirror is not me, but it represents me. In the same way, humans, God made us to represent him, and that makes us even more valuable. In all of creation, there is nothing more valuable than human beings. And that's significant because it gives us a very unique design and destiny. You see, God made us to reflect His value, His worth. So we're like mirrors. And yes, life beats us up a little bit. If we were to think of ourselves as mirrors, it's almost as though life could be like a hammer, just kind of tapping the glass on us as a mirror. And maybe there's cracks in the mirror, but here's the thing. A mirror that has cracks in it is still reflective. It still accomplishes its purposes. See, God, He sees us as valuable. We are valuable. And why this is significant when we talk about God's heart for broken people, it's simply this. You've got to learn to value yourself and care about yourself. But then also, you've got to learn to value and care about every single person that you run into. Because God does not make junk. He made us as contributors to this world. There is not a person you will run into that is wasting oxygen. They are precious in God's sight. And for that reason, they should be precious in ours. Remember, God is a household designer. What He makes is valuable. But what He makes in humanity, human beings, is His greatest work in His eyes. Because it reflects His character. It reflects His wonder. It reflects His glory. So treat people with that same type of value. And think of yourself with that same type of value. Thanks again for joining us this week. Hope to see you next time. God bless.